Here's a super easy and a really delicious way to use your food stores to make a traditional sausage and apple cornbread stuffing. You're not going to believe how fast this comes together. I'm going to cheat a little bit with the type of breadcrumbs and cornbread I use, but it's still a wonderful addition to your Thanksgiving table. If you're a fan of sausage and apple dressing and you have them in freeze-dried form, this recipe is a must. Well, hi there everyone. My name is Kareth. I'm a wife, a mom, an author, and a cook. On this channel, I like to create recipes using freeze-dried food. Sometimes it's completely shelf-stable, like a meal or a mix in a jar. Other times, I combine freeze-dried with fresh, but all the time, it's delicious. I'm here to help people who have freeze-dried food on their shelves to know how to cook with it. I test out recipes so you don't have to. Welcome to the Freeze-Dried Foodie. Thanksgiving is around the corner, and I love Thanksgiving recipes. Like all those flavors, I am here for it. This one is a little bit different than anything I've done before. This one was a subscriber request for a sausage and apple stuffing. And well, it's not really a stuffing. I'm not actually stuffing anything, so this is really a dressing. But I am going to be using the freeze-dried sausage crumbles as well as some freeze-dried veggies. And then my very favorite Granny Smith apples, and y'all, the combination of flavors here is so tasty. Instead of making homemade cornbread and homemade rolls in order to put into this, like I did in my last video, I'll link to that below if you want to do all that. But this one is like a cheater recipe. This is a hack I'll show you. I'm going to be using some cornbread croutons as well as some toasted bread cubes that I got in the deli department. So this is definitely something that you could take with you if you're traveling for Thanksgiving and you want to be able to bring something, but what can you take in your suitcase on an airplane? Hey, you could take something like this, okay? You could get this ready and then you will not believe how easy it is to put together, okay? It's so great. So in the bottom of the quart-sized jar, I put the freeze-dried sausage crumbles, and then I'm just layering in some ingredients. I've got freeze-dried onions and celery, some scrambled egg mix, of course, those Granny Smith apples. And then I actually had a little bit of freeze-dried chicken I wanted to use up, so I thought, I'm going to throw it in here. Now, this is not part of the recipe normally. Most of the time, it would just be all sausage. So I'll put the exact measurements and the recipe in the description box below the video. I am including parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, just like the song, as well as some poultry seasoning, salt and pepper, and some chicken bouillon. When you include the chicken bouillon in here, it makes it to where you could just add hot water and then it's a just add water recipe. So that's pretty convenient. But you can customize the seasonings you put in here, whatever seasonings speak Thanksgiving to you. Like if you just want poultry seasoning and sage, then just do that. Or if you really like thyme, rosemary, and parsley, you could use all of those. It's totally up to you. This is the jar that you could make in advance and have ready and waiting for you. Along with the jar, you need to store next to it whatever bread you're going to put into your dressing. Now, I like cornbread in my dressing, so I'm going to use these cornbread croutons, but you could also just store some of the bread cubes. And I wanted to mention, for those of you who are new, I have written a couple of cookbooks, so if you like meals in jars, I've got 2 of them available on Amazon in paperback, and then I also have them as digital downloads on my website. I'll link to that below. I also have a new soups cookbooklet, so if you don't really care about all the other recipes, but you're really into soups, that soups cookbooklet is really great. I just have combined all of my soup recipes from my channel into one little cookbooklet. It's $6.99. I'll link to that below as well. Whenever you're ready to make this, you'll need to add about 3 cups or so worth of hot water. I think I end up putting 2.5 cups in here, and that's just tap water. And all you do is you pour it straight into the quart jar. And I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but this recipe will give you about 4 servings. So all you have to do is kind of slowly pour that water in and let it settle. And then you might get a spoon and give it a stir. And then you can make some more room in there for some additional water. But all you need to do first is rehydrate your sausage and those Granny Smith apples especially. You want your vegetables, the fruit, and the sausage completely and totally refreshed before you bake it, okay? If not, it'll just burn in the oven. So get hot water in there, and then you're just gonna need to let it sit. Now, I let mine sit there on the counter for 30 minutes. I wanted to make sure it was completely refreshed. If you're wanting a super duper shortcut that's even simpler than all this, you could just combine the sausage, apples, onions, celery, and some chicken bouillon powder and refresh it like I'm showing you here. Then combine it with some Pepperidge Farm stuffing mix. That would work. But these cornbread croutons, they give you a lot more texture. It's more like homemade while still being shelf stable. Into the large bowl go the cornbread croutons, and I got those on Amazon. If you can't find them at Walmart, I've seen them at Walmart. You might can get them there as well. I put that whole bag in there. That's 5 ounces, so probably, a couple cups of croutons. And then I'm adding another maybe 3 cups of these toasted bread cubes from the deli department. I'm gonna guess and say you need 5 or 6 cups of some sort of bread cubes. And you can mix and match here. You could do all of one or the other. Then in goes that jar, liquid and all. And on top of that, you're gonna need to add some melted butter. So I melted half a stick of butter. That's 1/4 cup. And then I'm gonna add about a cup of chicken stock or chicken broth. If you're gonna add liquid, you might as well add something that's gonna add a little bit of flavor. I think using croutons here is pretty brilliant just because with traditional dressings, you make the bread homemade and then you have to dry it out. Well, with croutons, they're already really dried out. And so they do a really good job of soaking in that broth and absorbing the liquid. And that way they're soaking up a lot of flavor. And if you'll notice at this point, those croutons and those bread cubes have pretty much soaked in all of the broth that I added. I'll show you right here. Can you see that the broth is mostly absorbed into the bread cubes? And that's what you're looking for. So you might need to let it sit there for 3 or 4 minutes or so. You want most of that liquid to be absorbed by the time you add it to a prepared baking dish. That's a 9 by 13 right there. Now this part is up to you. I like my dressing to be on the moist side. So I'm gonna add another 1/2 cup of chicken broth. If you like your dressing on the drier side, like if you like it toastier, you can eliminate that. You don't have to add that extra 1/2 cup of broth. I went ahead and covered that, and I'm gonna bake for the first half or so of the baking time. I'm gonna bake it covered just to make sure that the eggs and everything get nice and cooked. So I went ahead and baked it for 30 minutes covered. And then I took off the aluminum foil and gave it a little bit of a stir. And then I'm gonna just put that whole thing back in the oven and let it bake uncovered for another 20, 25 minutes, something like that. You're just looking for it to get toasty on the top. So this is after an additional 25 minutes in the oven. Isn't that lovely? The cornbread is golden to start with, and then everything else gets nice and golden as well as it toasts in the oven. And y'all, it smells so good in my kitchen. It really does smell like Thanksgiving. I had never tried apple and sausage stuffing before. I've never had it. I didn't grow up eating this. So I was really excited to try this. I had looked at several recipes online, like probably a dozen different ones. And so my recipe is a conglomeration of everybody else's recipe. And then I've converted it, of course, to freeze dried. But this right here is just a little bit of chicken gravy from my Thanksgiving video, I think 2 years ago. I'll link to that below. But I just whipped up a little bit of gravy while that was in the oven. My husband and I had gone to our neighbor's house over the weekend. They had a Friendsgiving that they hosted. It was so much fun. And she sent me home with some extra ham, and I had taken some corn. So that is what I have put on my plate here. It just turned out to be a lovely dinner. It's so pretty. There was a little bit of room left at the top of my jar, and I could have put some freeze-dried cranberries in there. I actually thought about that. I thought that that would be really good in here. I also think it would be good if you included some freeze-dried butternut squash. I think that would be great in here. I love how you can see the little pieces of apple peeking out and the little pieces of sausage. Every once in a while, I will do this. I will just write a recipe down and think, yeah, this is going to work, and then film it, never having tasted it before. Now, that's kind of rare, but this is an occasion where I did that. I had never had this before in my life. And let me tell you what, it is delicious. No wonder people eat this. I've never eaten it before, but no wonder people love it. It's so good. The sausage in there, it provides a nice amount of spice and seasoning, and that meatiness is great. And there's just something fantastic when you pair sausage with apples. The tartness, oh my goodness, y'all, so good. I saw recipes for just sausage and apple stuffing that did not include cornbread. It was just the bread cubes, so I think that would be good as well. It's a yummy recipe. No wonder people enjoy this one. My grandmother's dressing is my all-time favorite, but y'all, this one ended up being really yummy, and I'm so glad I tried it. I'm really pleased with how it turned out. Well, all right, guys, thank y'all so much for watching. I appreciate you. If you enjoy my content, please hit the like button and leave me a comment below. You'll have to let me know what kind of dressing or stuffing y'all like, and tell me if you call it dressing or stuffing. Here is your scripture verse of the day. This is Psalm 139, verse 14, and it reads, "I will give thanks to you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works, and my soul knows it very well." Amen. Well, I pray you'll have a wonderful day, a fantastic week, and until next time, y'all take care and keep thriving.